This is the best pizza place you've never heard of, Casey's General Store. This is the Fat Files. Now, I do know what Casey's is. And when I moved to Florida, was it in Kansas? I don't remember. But anyway, when I moved to Florida a while ago, well over a decade ago, um, that's when I saw Casey's. I'd never eaten their pizza. I don't think to this day I've ever eaten their pizza. I don't generally eat gas station food ever since I kind of quit Quick Trip in like 2014. I used to love their food. Anyway, let's go.
I'm just going to level with you. I've been all over the United States since I started this whole YouTube thing, and the Midwest does not have a lot to brag about, but our gas station game is on point, and the rest of you guys are lacking. Today we're talking about Casey's General Store. It is the most American pizza place in the world, and it's masquerading as a gas station. If you don't live in the Midwest, you've probably never even heard of Casey's because they only operate in 17 states. But despite only operating in 17 states...
Did I get that backwards? Was Casey's in Kansas City, not Florida? I think that's the case. Yeah, Casey's was in Kansas City, not Florida. Sorry, I had that backwards. My bad. See, I can correct myself when I get it wrong.
States to show how dominant they are in their region. They are the third biggest convenience store chain in the country behind 7-Eleven and Circle K. And while they're technically not considered a pizza place, they have better pizza than any other chain pizza place in the United States. Yes, it's not just good gas station pizza. No, it's just good pizza. Look at me. I'm a 260-pound white guy that worked construction for a decade. I know good pizza. I am a pizza slut. I promise you, the pizza's delicious. And you don't just have to take my word for it. I can prove it mathematically. If you were to compare the top pizza chains in the United States and see which one made the most money by selling just pizzas, Casey's would be tied for 5th with Papa Murphy's. Last year, they sold 28 million pizzas and 70 million individual slices. And again, they only operate in 17 states with 2,600 locations. That's like 11,000 pizzas per year per gas station, not including the individual slices. And Casey's was able to achieve this market dominance with a brilliant business strategy that we're going to get into right after a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by World of Warships, a massive free online game that's available pretty much everywhere, whether it's Windows, Mac, PlayStation, Xbox, where you get to play as a warship inside of a massive World War II style naval engagement. And the best part is these aren't just a bunch of random warships that they came up with. No, these are actual ships that either did or still do exist today, whether it's the USS Iowa, the USS Texas, a Fletcher class destroyer, pretty much anything and everything that has existed is in this game. Or if you're into losing, you can play as the world's biggest shitty submarines, the Yamato or the Bismarck. Or you can get crazy and have me be the commander of your ship. Battle starts! Enemy battleship detected. Torpedoes, direct front. Not only that, but most of their in-game events are actually centered around true historical events. This month's event is the 85th anniversary of Operation Dynamo, aka the Miracle at Dunkirk. So if you want to give World of Warships a try and partake in the Dunkirk 85th anniversary event, you can use code DYNAMO1940, and that's going to get you a bunch of freebies. I'm going to have that code and a link down below. Let's get back to the video. Okay, let me set the scene for you. You're unfortunate enough to be driving through the vast cornfield ocean that is the Midwest of the United States. And the only thing that breaks up this ocean of corn is the occasional soybean field, maybe a hog confinement, or one of the thousands of tiny little towns that have a population of like 2,000 that are so small if you blink you're gonna miss them. Pretty much all.
Okay, I apologize. I'm trying. My brain is like, why did I think Florida? I'm thinking of the first time I ever saw actual food production inside of a gas station was in Florida. So like at the gas stations in the Kansas City area, up until I moved to Florida in 2015, they didn't make the food in front of you there. It wasn't like a restaurant. Either they had a restaurant in there, but it was not the same thing. They had pre-prepared or like on a rotisserie, either this way or this way, taquitos, pizza, whatever, nachos with a big cheese station or whatever, right? Pre-prepared. When I moved to Florida, their gas stations, I can't remember, it's affiliated with, I think, Dillon's or whatever. Their gas station that they had with a weird name had fried chicken, and they were making it right there. Fresh mashed potatoes, like they had like you could order lunch and stuff. And here in Texas, they have that too. And I was like, what? I didn't know that was a thing. So that was what I was thinking of when I was thinking of seeing Casey's. It wasn't Casey's. It was, oh my God, I can't think of the name. Anyway, besides the point, I just wanted to clarify there.
little towns that have a population of like 2,000 that are so small if you blink you're gonna miss them. Pretty much
I
all
call
of
them
these
blink
towns are the
towns.
exact same thing. There's only 4 businesses in these towns, okay? There's a post office, a dive bar, a Dollar General, and a gas station. And 9 times out of 10, that gas station is a Casey's. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that is one of, if not the best gas stations on the planet. The only company that comes close is Quick Star, which is their main competitor inside of the Midwest. Okay, all the other regions in the United States, you guys don't hold a candle to the Midwest when it comes to the gas station game. Buh! Oh yeah, well Texas has Buc-ee's, and Buc-ee's is the biggest, best gas station ever because Texas, buh. Okay, look at me.
No, before he says anything, I'm going to say this. I live in Texas. I live less than a mile away from a small, apparently they have huge Buc-ee's. I've never been to a big, huge Buc-ee's store. They have a small version, like think of Walmart Neighborhood Market version versus a department store, right? So they have a small version right of a mile away. I've been there to get my neighbor's smokes for him. And I went there because one of my friends came in town from Louisiana and needed to stop there. And I like walked in, I looked around, I was like, and then left. Like so I need to go to the big one, right? That's the difference. Anyway, continue.
Look at me. Buc-ee's is cool. I like Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's has a cool business model. I'll do a video on them one day. But Buc-ee's is not a gas station. Buc-ee's is what happens when a Six Flags fucks a Walmart and then they have a massive parking lot that they threw some gas pumps in. That is a tourist attraction, not a convenience store. There's nothing convenient about Buc-ee's, okay? You gotta park in a 1,000 spot parking lot, walk a quarter mile just to get into the store that's the size of a fucking department store just to find the food you want. I'm not looking to do that as a...
That's not the size that's a mile from me. Think of like a quarter of that, like a regular convenience store size is the size of the one that I have. There was like hardly no merch or anything. So that told me right there that it wasn't a real full Buc-ee's. Anyway.
That's the size of a fucking department store just to find the food you want. I'm not looking to do that as a construction worker trying to get to work, okay? I want to walk 12 steps in, grab food, grab an energy drink and a coffee, walk the fuck out and go to work. I'm surprised Buc-ee's doesn't take your picture and then try to sell it to you on the way out like it was a roller coaster, because they do everything else an amusement park does. They basically have a fucking gift shop inside that gas station.
Hey, stop it!
That's what I don't have in the
I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. Our story begins in 1959 when Donald Lamberti, the founder of Casey's, took over his father's full-service gas station in Des Moines, Iowa. Now remember, this is the 1950s, so when I say full-service gas station, I mean they sold gas and then they had like the little auto shop off to the side where you could go in, get your tire fixed, get your oil changed, and some dude would come out and pump your gas. It wasn't really a convenience store. They weren't selling food. They didn't have a bunch of snacks and drinks and all the bullshit. That's how things were back in the day. And eventually, somewhere over the course of the next 9 years, he decides, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the auto shop. I'm going to turn the auto shop into a convenience store. I'm going to start making more money off of selling candy bars and drinks and food and shit.
Yeah, I mean, gas stations used to be a service station, right? They were for cars. They weren't for convenience. They were for vehicles. And half the time you didn't even have to get out, because they would come service your car for you. They'd come pump your gas for you. You know?
Into a convenience store. I'm going to start making more money off of selling candy bars and drinks and food and shit.
My daughter's texting.
Outrageously successful. And then one day his buddy, Casey Fisher, the guy that comes by to fill up the gas tanks for his gas pump, says, hey, over in this town, Boone, Iowa, not that far away, there's another full-service gas station that's struggling. You should take them over, turn them into a convenience store too, and do exactly what you did right here in Des Moines. It would probably go just as well. Now, Des Moines is the capital. It's the big city. In theory, it should be easier to have a successful business there just because of greater population density. Boone, Iowa is a tiny town that's got about 12,000 people, so he's concerned that a convenience store isn't going to be able to make it there, but there's only one way to find out. So he goes there, he takes over this gas station. It's like the only gas station in town, turns it into a convenience store, and holy shit, it's outrageously successful. In a wild turn of events that literally nobody could have seen coming, people that live in small towns also like convenience and food. Holy shit, who
knew that people didn't want to have to drive 25 minutes to get something simple, and they were willing to pay to save the gas and to not have to take the time to go do that? Who knew? That's why in my opinion, the most successful ones would be ones that weren't quite grocery stores, but weren't quite just convenient. Like, so I'm talking like a fully stocked type, because people go there. I'm telling you, like in Florida, it was the first time I saw them like sell everything at a Dollar General. I didn't know you could get alcohol, cigarettes at Dollar General, but guess what? You can. But no, he's absolutely right. They are absolutely right. That model works for small towns because they, especially rural communities, people don't want to have to drive every time. They already have to drive all the time. Yeah, they're used to it, but sometimes you just don't freaking feel like it. So you'd get more business that way, especially if you kind of cater what you sell to the people in the town. So like if you're near a lake, if you sell like tackle, I've seen that before where people sell like tackle in the convenience store. They have like a little cooler thing or whatever with like bait and stuff. So you could like stop by and grab some bait, get your beer, all the things in one shot. And if you really want to be spicy about it, in West Virginia, I'll never forget it. They had a drive-through liquor store and a drive-through like gas station. You can go to the window and get your cigarettes right there at the window. It was super convenient. It was great. It was, and then sometimes they close the one you have to come inside anyway, which was lame. But anyway,
and holy shit, it's outrageously successful. In a wild turn of events that literally nobody could have seen coming, people that live in small towns also like convenience and food. Holy shit, who would have thunk it? So while yes, this small town does have less people, which means less potential business, he also has literally no competition, so he just mops up. So he ends up naming that gas station Casey's after the guy that gave him the idea, and that becomes his new strategy for the business. He's not gonna try to go into the big metropolitan area and slug it out with all the big hitters and make a name for himself. No, he's just gonna go around to all these little tiny podunk towns, and he actually focuses on towns that have a population of 5,000 or less. And as time goes by, he's just opening up new gas stations left and right in all these little podunk towns. And then in 1984, one of these tiny little towns only had two businesses. They had a Casey's and they had a local pizza place, and that local pizza place went out of business. So the manager of that Casey's was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start making pizza inside the donut machine, which makes a ton of sense because that entire community is used to only having one option for a restaurant to order warm food. Most of these families probably have pizza night. Like every Tuesday, our family buys pizza from this local pizzeria, and that's just our family thing.
Oh,
and that got taken away. So Casey's is gonna go in and fill that void, right? This is what pseudoscientists, sociologists would refer to as a food desert, and he is now going to be the only person selling food inside of this food desert.
For the record, sociology is a really, really, really cool field. It's my favorite. It's what I wanted to study in college. It was my absolute favorite class, and one of my professors was they said the one thing that out of all of college that I did, the classes that I did finish before I started having my kids, stuck with me to this day, and it was absolute. She called it, she nailed it, she predicted it. She said, basically, I'll just tell you, it's the old way of thinking versus the new age thinking. So basically, new age thinking, old way thinking is that reality is reality, and your perception is just your interpretation of it. And the new age thinking is that your perception is reality. And then she said, so you asked, and I said, well, what about? We were having a discussion. So what about if my reality, my perception, my reality conflicts with your reality? She says, you're thinking the old way. She goes, that is the excuse you will get. There will never be an answer. There will never be an explanation. It'll be just, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. Does that sound familiar? Does it sound like current times? That my perception of what I see myself as, what I identify as, what I decided is the way that it is. And then if you question me and say, well, where did you come up with that? Or where did that come from? And they're like, you can't tell me, you can't judge and tell me what to think. Like, do you see what I'm saying? It was the most true thing I've ever heard in my life. Sociology from 1300 to like 1700 was my favorite thing. Why did people do what they did? Why did people consider this important and this not important in that day and age? Was it resources? Was it social? What was it? Anyway, love sociology. I get it, pseudoscience. I get it. But in the context he's using it, yes. But as an actual study point,
is a food desert, and he is now going to be the only person selling food inside of this food desert. And people absolutely love it, so he ends up equipping every Casey's with a fully functional pizza kitchen. Now, as the decades go by, Casey's has basically covered the entire Midwest. They're absolutely everywhere except for inside these major cities, but they have these major cities completely surrounded. Now, in business, this would be called the backdoor or the beachhead strategy. It's not always a good business idea for a lot of retail locations, like Toys R Us, for example. You wouldn't build a Toys R Us out in a town that's got 2,000 people. It just doesn't make any sense. But it works with gas stations, and it's exceptionally brilliant. And that's because if things are going good, what do cities do over time? They expand, they get bigger. Especially cities in the Midwest, because they're smack dab in the center of the country, right? Cities that are on coastlines can only expand one direction. They can't expand into the ocean. Cities in Florida are stuck on a fucking peninsula. Where are they gonna go? Manhattan's on an island, whereas the cities in the middle of the country can expand out in every direction. And they've been doing that a ton for the last 3 decades because all of the big businesses are moving headquarters and factories and warehouses into these central locations because it makes logistics easier because you're smack dab in the middle of the country. Now, it's only a 2-day drive to either coast instead of being stationed in LA and having to ship shit all the way to New York. You want to be centralized. So these Midwestern cities like Des Moines, for example, are expanding rapidly, and all the gas station businesses that are inside the city that have been operating there forever are having trouble expanding because they're completely fucking surrounded by Casey's. And Casey's is not only making a fuck ton of money by A, being there first and already having a stronghold with a loyal customer base, but as that city expands and absorbs these smaller towns, the property values go through the roof, so the value of their location, just real estate wise, is skyrocketing. Not only that, but you know who has to
Also, they're on the so people that work in big cities, especially if they're establishing and they just moved to the new city and they don't necessarily want to live in the city, they want their family to live a little bit more rural. It's a little bit less expensive, and they can get more land and they can get better bang for their buck, right? They're going to move a little bit on the outskirts of the city. They're going to be, and they're willing to drive 40 minutes to commute to work or whatever. On the way, you've got Casey's. In the town that they're moving to, you've got Casey's. And as these cities expand, there's already Casey's there. They just kind of expand around them. So they're already established. They're already known to the locals, to the people that have been there for a long time. It's a very intelligent strategy, to be fair. It's a very intelligent strategy. Huzzah.
The value of their location, just real estate wise, is skyrocketing. Not only that, but you know who has to show up to let the city expand? Construction workers. So now they have entire construction crews leaving the city, going out to these tiny little towns, 15, 30 minutes outside of town, and they're building, a new housing development or a bunch of new buildings. Guess where they're going for breakfast and lunch every single day?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
The only place they can go, the gas station that sells pizza. And it's even funnier if you're another gas station trying to compete with them, because as you send out your construction crew to build your Quick Star or your Holiday or your Circle K or whatever the fuck, guess where your construction workers, as they're building your gas station, are going to get pizza at lunch? Fucking Casey's.
See, in Florida and here, they have an actual counter, like their own little internal little restaurant almost. So you can conveniently, they do breakfast and they do lunch. And the one right up the street, they just do breakfast, tacos and fajitas, and then they do lunch stuff, I guess. I never do lunch there. And then the one in Florida did the breakfast stuff. You could get bacon, egg, and cheese croissants or biscuits, or especially biscuits, because everybody likes biscuits and gravy, sausage biscuits and gravy, which was huge. And a lot of stuff that people could grab to eat, and sit there and eat for a second before they go to work. They're open super early. They're open at 5 a.m. because guess what? Construction workers and blue collar jobs don't start at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. They're not there in the middle of the morning. They're there early. Just saying. And then you could get your food. So I could understand the concept of having something convenient you can go grab. That's why Quick Trip does so well. But yeah, this is a really smart concept. Dude, I didn't even realize. Like I said, I have never... I think I've walked into a Casey's before because we got gas there. I've never eaten their food. I've never lived in a town like that until I moved to Florida. And then we had the other Tom Thumb. I remembered. Tom Thumb. That was what was in Florida.
Thirsty?
They've been playing the long game for decades and it's starting to pay off. And because of
Yeah.
all of this, the pizza at Casey's has developed this cult following. Like, it is a Midwestern icon to get Casey's pizza at this gas station.
I've heard that
Like I already
before.
said, they're literally tied for 5th for Papa Murphy's for the biggest pizza chain in the United States. They sold $700 million in pizza last year, which doesn't even make sense when you consider they're only operating in 17 states with 2,600 locations. How is that even possible? Well, it's because they figured out how to sell pizza fast and all day long. Casey sells all your normal pizza, your pepperoni, your supreme, your meat lovers, but on top of that, they sell different pizzas. They sell taco pizza, they sell barbecue brisket pizza, and most importantly, they sell breakfast pizza. It is a pizza with cheese sauce, scrambled eggs, and then either bacon or sausage, and it's fucking delicious.
This some serious gourmet shit.
So not only are they the only pizza chain in America that's figured out how to sell pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they also copied Little Caesars by having it hot and ready because they sell pizza by the slice. You can literally go to Casey's on your way to work, grab breakfast pizza and a coffee, then go back there for lunch, grab pizza and an energy drink, and then hit them up on your way back home too. Trust me, I've done it. And that's what makes it the most American pizza place on the planet. Not only can you eat pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner like the Lord intended, it's the only pizza place you can go to on your way home from work and get all the necessary ingredients to go home and get fucked up. Okay, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, I can't go there, get a
Valid.
pizza for the family and then a 40 and some rolling papers or a case of Busch Light and some Grizzly long cut wintergreen. It's convenient as fuck and the pizza's better. On top of that, you could probably meet your future spouse there. Okay, I see it all the time on the internet. Women being like, oh, where do I find a good hardworking blue collar guy, blah, 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 blah. Listen to me. Get off fucking Tinder, quit going out to nightclubs, get your ass up at 6 o'clock in the morning, drive to the nearest gas station that sells
What'd I
good
say?
breakfast food, let
did
some
I say?
air out of your tire, wait for the dudes in the high-vis shirts and dirty work boots to go walking in on their way to their construction site. Pick the one that you think is attractive and walk up to him and be like, oh, excuse me, could you help me air up my tire? Blah, 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 blah. He's gonna do it, and if he doesn't have a wedding ring and seems nice, ask him for his fucking phone number. The end. The absolute worst case scenario is that dude tells you he has a girlfriend and you made his day because he's been hit on twice in his entire life and he's gonna remember
Oh.
this for the rest of forever. And then you show up to the same gas station the next morning and do it again to another guy till you find the one that's available. Go ahead and send.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if you saw me pause earlier where I was kind of like, and then I stopped my little tirade about getting up early and how that's, anyway, that's what I was thinking about mentioning because I saw somebody mention it in a reel the other day and I was like, that is so freaking true. They're like, actually, it was in the comments of a reel that someone was reacting to. So it was a whole thing. They were like, go to these conventions, these construction conventions. And in the comments are like, honey, they're all married. Like most of these guys are married. And they're like, you want the single guys, go to the gas station at 5 a.m. for all of the workers that are on their way to the construction sites. They get prepped up and they get ready, right? That's when you go. And I was about to mention something about that because I wake up at 2 a.m. every day, guys. 2 a.m. and I'm recording right now it's 7:30. I was planning on going to the gym this morning, but I have my gym set up in my front room now. I'm so excited. So I don't have to go far and I can record content. I have to do 6 to 8 hours of content today. Crazy, right? A full-time job almost. Well, today at least. And I was going to mention that because I see them all the time. When I go to the gas station, I wait till it opens at 6 or 5:30 and I'm right there because I'm busy. I got to get back and I got to do a quarter. I have to go to work. I don't have time. Let's go. And I see all these crews pull up. And that's what he's talking about is all these crews or all these blue collar workers that are on their way to work. You don't want no guy on, man, I'm telling you, for the love of God, stay off of Tinder. The hell? It is a cesspool. It is the Plenty of Fish of the dating world now. I don't know if Plenty of Fish is still terrible. It's Plenty of Fish was the Craigslist of the dating world, and now Tinder is the Plenty of Fish.
Gas station the next morning and do it again to another guy till you find the one that's available. Go ahead and send the wedding invitation to my P.O. box. You're welcome. Okay, and I know what you're thinking, but Chubby Electron Guy, it's just gas station pizza. No, it's not just gas station pizza. It's literally better than any other major pizza chain in the country. It's got such a cult following that when David Portnoy, you know, the Barstool sports guy that goes around the country doing pizza reviews, came to Iowa for college football and asked for the best pizza place in town, he overwhelmingly got told Casey's gas station and went there and did a pizza review.
One bite, everybody knows the rules. Gas station pizza, Casey's General Store, Iowa. Too bacony.
Too bacony?
Too bacony.
Huh?
It's all right. I mean, it's all right. I don't know. 5.2.
Oh!
Okay, now to be fair, that doesn't do a whole lot of good for my argument that the pizza's fantastic, but I think we can all agree that's a dog shit review. How in the fuck are you gonna order a bacon pizza, take a bite, and go, it's too bacony? What is happening right now? Okay, that's the only person in the history of forever that's ever been mad there was too many toppings on top of a pizza. It doesn't even make sense. It's like getting home with your wife from date night and being like, honey, it's too wet. Imagine going to a Ferrari dealership, buying a Ferrari, and then calling them up the next day and be like, guys, this car's too fast. Yeah, that's the fucking point. The bacon pizza is supposed to taste like motherfucking bacon.
The snozberries taste like snozberries. Ew. These carrots taste musky. Damn Oompa Loompas!
Thankfully, he's not.
Okay, so someone corrected me when I was like, holy shit, that was like an xxKaTxx video. They're like, oh, that's Adult Swim. For the record, y'all, I've never, ever watched Adult Swim. Ever. I think when it was around the most, I was busy partying and playing WoW. Okay, and raising my kids. So, I never ever. I'm not a big TV fan. I just never watched TV, so I didn't know. That would be another one I would have called out as like an xxKaTxx, where my kids would be just watching something on YouTube Kids, and they'd be like, "Oh, Bobby, that hurts. What the fuck are you watching? Give me that, Mom. What? It's just Spider-Man. It's just Batman." Really? Yes, Batman. Give it to me, Batman. We love it. The carrot tastes musty. By the way, that guy that did the review, he didn't want to like it. He didn't want to say, oh my gosh, this gas station pizza is great. That's my opinion. I don't even know who he is, so.
It tastes musky. Damn Oompa
Did you see it? Because it's orange. It's a Oompa Loompa. Did you see it disappear, though? That was great. Hold on.
These carrots taste musky.
It was blue.
Damn Oompa Loompas!
Thankfully, he's not the only pizza reviewer that's done this. For some reason, Casey's has such a cult following that tons of people have reviews of them sitting in their cars outside of a Casey's because they stopped to review Casey's pizza as they were passing through, and almost all of them absolutely love it. So yeah, that is Casey's, the third largest gas station chain in the country and the fifth most successful pizza chain in the country, despite the fact they're technically not even a pizza chain. They accomplish this in two ways. One, they have a gimmick. They're a gas station that sells outrageously good pizza, and two, they played the long game with the beachhead strategy. Rather than competing head-on with their competition, instead, they elected to go around the outside, develop fortified positions all around them, and then as that enemy finally did try to expand, Casey's made a killing not only selling food to their construction crews to build their gas stations, but in their real estate pricing, and when the time came, they already had a loyal customer base that was in that area. So if you're ever in the Midwest and you see a Casey's, stop in, grab a slice of pizza. It's not a gas station that sells pizza, it's a pizza place that sells gas. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out.
Be the bigger
You see, the
bully.
real fat guy move is to actually go and order taco pizza with no lettuce, no tomatoes, and no sour cream, because then it's basically just a beef, onion, and bean pizza with Doritos on top, and it's fucking delicious.
That's funny. I'm on a fat electrician marathon. This is my fourth video this morning. I already posted one this morning that I did this morning. I want to do this one. I have to do other content. So I might do this one and then stop, because that'll be enough for the week, right? I'm trying to make enough content so I don't have to even think about it. it's time consuming, y'all. It's time consuming. But I love it. And it's like if I'm gonna watch this stuff anyway, I might as well watch it with y'all, right? Anyway, this was the story of Casey's Pizza, which I didn't know. I thought I knew, but I didn't know. So that being said, super awkward, unprofessional. And hey, I can own my mistakes. I corrected myself, outro. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember that you are valid and you matter. Don't let anyone tell you different. On that note, I'm out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.